starting the session. First, please note that this is an interactive session for those who have already completed the gallbladder with us. We are taking the gallbladder in our courses of abdominal ultrasound. This interactive session is for those who have already completed or are near to complete the gallbladder. This is an interactive session. I'm again repeating, for those who are registered with us and are undergoing the course or have completed the course of the sub course of the gallbladder. So the first question is from Dr. Asha. And what is the question over there? Let me go to the chat box. Show me the chat box. Anybody show me the chat box? Wait. I will handle it. Okay. So the first question from Dr. Asha Garg: is there any intrahepatic gallbladder? Yes. So the point is, Dr. Asha, right? Yes. From Dr. Asha Garg: is there any intrahepatic GB? Yes, intrahepatic GB is there. What is meant by intrahepatic? The term itself, it is inside the liver. Now, how to make a diagnosis of an intrahepatic gallbladder? How to make a diagnosis of an intrahepatic gallbladder is that when you are scanning the liver, let me take, I am having a module of gallbladder over here. Yeah. Now see over here. See over here. This is the gallbladder over here. This gallbladder is not inside the liver. Now the point is, it is embedded in, but not inside. Now when I am cutting in ultrasound, when I am taking a slice, automatically I am seeing some part of the liver also with the gallbladder. I mean surrounding the gallbladder, because it is embedded in, but it is not inside the liver. Now imagine if this gallbladder is inside the liver, then I will see more of the liver surrounding the gallbladder. Now this is the visual impression. You are scanning gallbladder on daily basis. How much liver is surrounding the gallbladder normally? This is the visual impression. If you see more, it is surrounded by the liver, then it is intrahepatic gallbladder. So first of all, the visual impression, how much liver I should see surrounding the gallbladder. It is not actually surrounding the gallbladder. I showed you on this liver here that whenever I am cutting through this gallbladder, I am automatically cutting some part of the liver also. But if it is inside it, then it will be surrounded by the liver more than what you are scanning or see on routine basis. So that is intrahepatic gallbladder. So yes, there is a term which is called as intrahepatic gallbladder. Now, Dr. Shashi Astana, sir, in ring down artifact, what pathology is indicated? Now see this ring down artifact. What is a ring down artifact? How the ring down artifact is looking like? The ring down artifact, if some pathology or any area of interest is over here, then I am seeing like a shadow on color Doppler investigation. Whenever I'm putting a color box onto that area, what I am seeing like the shadow is coming, but it is not actually the shadow, but it will be a color shadow, I will say. There is nothing color shadow like, but just to make you explain that I will see a color shadow like. That is the this artifact over there. Now we are seeing this artifact in case of a unitary calculus. If there is a unitary calculus, especially these lower unitary calculuses, I see a ring down artifact, comet tail artifact, ring down artifact in case of this ureteric calculuses. And we see in gallbladder, in case of adenomyomatosis of gallbladder, where there is the cholesterol deposition, there will be the ring down artifacts. Okay, let me go to the next question. Can a bright echo without shadow be located? Can a bright echo without shadow be labeled as calculus in gallbladder? Now see, the point is that there can be a tumefactive sludge, and that tumefactive sludge will look like, see, that tumefactive sludge, if seen in gallbladder, it will look like a calculus. Why? Because this is called as a sludge ball. So before jumping on to any calculus, make sure that you are not dealing with a tumefactive sludge. And tumefactive sludge, in case of this sludge ball, can be confused, easily confused with the calculus. Now, the point is, if there is a calculus, that calculus will be more dense. This is the point, more dense than this tumefactive sludge or this sludge ball. Now, the point is, if there will be no shadow, I will think on lines of no shadow. I will think on lines of this tumefactive sludge. But in case of the calculus, there will be a strong shadow. But the point is, if the calculus is very small, maybe a 2, maybe a 3 millimeter, then I will be a big fool if I will be expecting a strong shadow behind the calculus. So see to the calculus measurement, how much is the calculus accordingly, and see to the shadow. And if at 10 millimeters, now practically, if at 10 millimeters area is not showing me a sludge, a shadow, then it is sludge. But if a 5 millimeters or a 4 millimeters is showing me a shadow, that cannot be sludge. That is the point. So next question. Oh, we are flooded with questions. Keep it up, keep it up. We will take all questions. No worries. Sir, should we examine fetal gallbladder? No, fetal gallbladder. Yes, fetal gallbladder can be seen. Yes, of course, we see fetal gallbladder. And when we see fetal gallbladder, we are taking the abdominal circumference. This is the part of the fetal ultrasound with us. This is the part of the fetal ultrasound with us. There are 3 ossification centers. This is the spine over here. Now we see a stomach bubble. Stomach bubble will be on one side. Now I see a stomach bubble. Now you can make out which side is this. This will be the left side. Portal vein will be in between and will look like a hockey. Now, if I see some round shaped and oval shaped on other side, this is gallbladder. This is the gallbladder. Yes, we do see the gallbladder of the fetus also. And in case, in some cases, we can even see the calculus, the small calculus in this gallbladder. Better not to label it. You can report it, but don't highlight this, because after birth, they get a resolve of its own. So you can make a point that there is a tiny calculi in the fetal gallbladder, but don't highlight this, because most of the about a 90-95% will resolve after birth. So let me see the next. Sir, what is hepatization of gallbladder? Hepatization of gallbladder. Now see, if there is a sludge, in gallbladder, and that sludge is coming at par with the ecogenicity of the, what is the word, and the ecogenicity of the liver, that is hepatization of gallbladder. So what is the board?
Board is, you have to just click over there.
Here?
No. Here.
Wait. Here. Is it come?
Yeah.
So the hepatization, now see, you see a liver over here. And then you see a gallbladder. In this gallbladder, if we are having sludge, and that sludge is not in one area but is all over through the lumen, then the ecogenicity of the gallbladder will come at par with the liver, and this is called as hepatization of gallbladder. So the hepatization of gallbladder is when the echo of the gallbladder, which should be jet black, due to sludge, it is coming at par with the liver ecogenicity, that is hepatization of gallbladder. So chat box, okay, going back to chat box, say gallbladder in dengue infection, Dr. Sohan Lal, gallbladder in dengue infection. Now see, in dengue, we are seeing what we are seeing. We are seeing the gallbladder wall. The gallbladder wall increase in the gallbladder wall. So if there is dengue, not only dengue, but many infections, and maybe a congestive cardiac failure, there will be a reactive increase in the gallbladder. So in dengue, yes, we see this wall will be increased. And what else I can see? I can see even ascites in the dengue fever. But the more important point is, how can I differentiate that this gallbladder is not inflamed? I mean, I am not dealing with a case of cholecystitis. So the important point here is that how to make a differentiate between a cholecystitis and the reactive increased gallbladder wall. Here is the sonographic Murphy sign, whatever is taught in your course, sonographic Murphy sign, how to take, that is already discussed with you. Sonographic Murphy sign will not be present. Now see, the sonographic Murphy sign will not be present in case of a reactive increase in the gallbladder wall. But if it is true cholecystitis, then I will see sonographic Murphy sign. So again, repeating, what is the sonographic Murphy sign? Sonographic Murphy sign is nothing but a Murphy sign, not conducted by your hand, but conducted by your probe, and keeping your gallbladder in the center of the screen. Thereby, what you are doing, you are now pressing onto the gallbladder, and if there is pain, then the sonographic Murphy sign is positive. So that is one point. Another point is that whenever I will put the color box onto this gallbladder wall, will I expect any increase in the vascularity if it is just reactive? No. But in case of cholecystitis, which is a true inflammation of gallbladder, I will see that the wall will show me increased vascularity. So increased vascularity is going in favor of a true cholecystitis, whereas the missing vascularity in wall with absent sonographic Murphy sign is going in favor of a reactive increase GB word. How to trace the whole length of the CBD. This is Dr. Meenakshi Mittal. How to trace? Now see, there are two things which you have to keep in your mind while tracing the gallbladder: distal and proximal. Distal end and proximal end of the gallbladder. And where from to start? Where from I have to start? I have to start from the, of course, from the gallbladder. Then what I will see a portal vein over here. Now see, I will see a portal vein over here. Where is the CBD at this point? CBD is over here. So CBD will be sitting like it is sitting onto the portal vein. So this is the portal vein over here, and this is the common bile duct over here, CBD. Now what I will do first, this is the visual impression. Is this CBD dilated or not? Without measuring, I can have a visual impression. How? Because I am having the portal vein over here. Portal vein on an average is 10 millimeters. 10 millimeters is the portal vein. Now, if both CBD as well as the gallbladder, portal vein will be equal sized, then this portal vein on an average is 10 millimeter. It means that this is a dilated CBD, because I am seeing it at with comparing it with the portal vein. It means that it has to be a 10 millimeters. Now the click on my mind is coming from here when I am comparing it with the portal vein. Then I have to rotate over here. I have to rotate my probe to take it in length. Now this will be the one end. Now see, this will be the one end of the gallbladder, CBD, where I will go now. If I want to further trace it, why not from the head of the pancreas also? Yes. So from the head of the pancreas, I can trace it from the head of the pancreas. And if there is a cystic dilatation at the level of the head of the pancreas, this can be a dilated CBD. So you have to trace it from the gallbladder neck, as well as you can trace it from the head of the pancreas also. Okay, so the rest things are already discussed in your course. What it can be, how much is the CBD diameter, that is age related, that is already discussed with you. Now I will give a quick recap, because this is very important, when to label the CBD as dilated. Now CBD of for example, CBD of 7 millimeters, and is it dilated? First of all, is it dilated CBD of 7 millimeters? It can be dilated, but it can be absolutely normal for some patients. Now, what I have to take? I have to take age. If age is 30 years, now see, if age is 30 years, then this 7 millimeter is dilated. But if age is 70 years or more, then this CBD is absolutely normal. So the point here is that up to 60, roughly up to 60, it is 6 millimeters. Now I'm giving you the formula, a rough formula. 60 years is equal to 6 millimeters. Up to 6 millimeters is normal. On an average, it is 3. So if I see a 6 millimeters and the patient's age is 60, then this is normal. And then for every decade of life, it means that for every 10 years, what I have to do, I have to add 1 millimeter per decade of life. It means that for 70, the normal is 7 millimeters. For 80, it is 8 millimeters, and the it will go like this. But the point is, if it is 10, unlikely I will be having a patient of 100. I've never scanned a 100 years patient in India. So now, if it is 10 and above, it is dilated for any age group. So you have to see this CBD. This is already covered in your course in great detail. I gave you a quick recap of the important points over here. So please comment, explain, comment tail artifact. This is already covered. I started with this. So now I am giving you the second option to raise the hand. You have to raise the hand, the digital hand, again repeating, then we will unmute your computer or your this mobile, whatever you are using from our side, but please make sure that there is no background noise so that the whole class will not be disturbed. So the raise hand options are here in the more option. You can raise the hand now. Please repeat your question, Dr. Premlata Bhutani. Please repeat your question.
Sir, in your module, A calculus polycystitis, last line is written, power Doppler demonstration of increased vascularity will suggest the diagnosis of A calculus polycystitis.
Now you are reading from a book, right? Dr. Premlata Bhutani.
Sir.
This is from my book, right?
Module, yes, sir.
Yeah, module book they are same.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I have to go to the subtopic of acalcular polycystitis. Okay. Anything else? Please mute your microphone so that there will be no background noise. Okay. So the point is that how I can differentiate a true cholecystitis, from a reactive. Now see, true cholecystitis from a reactive increase in GB wall. This is discussed today only. I have to see whether I am dealing with a Murphy sign, sonographic Murphy sign or not. And the second point, which I told you, is the vascularity. You have to put the color box onto this wall, and if it shows that there is vascularity in the walls, then it is cholecystitis. Now the third point is, here, Dr. Premlata, here lies your answer also. Now the third point is, if it is cholecystitis, then in about a 90%, if not 95%, in more than 90%, I will see a calculus. In about a 90%, I will be seeing a calculus. So the third point is that the cholecystitis not always will show me the calculus also in most of cases. Now the second point is, another point is, not second point is, another point is, there is another set of cholecystitis, and that is called acalcular cholecystitis. Now the question posted by, not posted, put by Dr. Bhutani is that how I can differentiate acalcular cholecystitis, because she is thinking, now I will not have a calculus in this patient because the term itself acalcular. Then how can I make a diagnosis of an acalcular cholecystitis? And she quoted the last line from my book, that in acalcular cholecystitis, we have to put a color, not have to put a color. There is an option that we can put a color. This is the line written in my book, is that we have to put a color. Now see, if I am putting color and I am seeing that there is increased vascularity, that is first ruling out that I am not dealing with a reactive inflammation, increased GB wall, but I am dealing with a acalcular cholecystitis. That is one point. Another point is that I have to take an attempt to see the sonographic Murphy sign. Now again, a sonographic Murphy sign in case of a acalcular cholecystitis, sonographic Murphy sign will be positive. So will be the color also increased. So this is the point how you can differentiate an acalcular cholecystitis from just a reactive increase in GB wall. Very good point, very relevant point, because in case of cholecystitis, I am seeing this increased GB wall, and I am seeing calculus also. But in case I am not seeing a calculus, this can be acalcular, and now this is very difficult without putting a color and without thinking that I will be having sonographic Murphy sign. So sonographic Murphy sign will be positive in case of acalcular cholecystitis, and I will be having an increased color in case of acalcular cholecystitis. But if I don't have increased color, if I don't have this increased color and sonographic Murphy sign, if I don't have, then I am not dealing with an acalcular cholecystitis. Another point which I will add here, that is ascites. If there is ascites, there are high chances, now I am using word high chances that you are dealing with a reactive increased GB wall, not an acalcular cholecystitis. Okay, anything else? If anybody wants to put your question one to one, he or she can raise the hand. Please tell us about the Merizi sign. Now, these things are already discussed in your course. I started with that. This is a question and answer session. I cannot take a complete course of the color Doppler over here. So if you have any questions, you can raise your hand, or you can put your relevant questions in the this comment box. So till I will get questions, what we will do, we will take some important points from the gallbladder scanning. When I am in porta hepatis, now see, when I am in porta hepatis, what I am seeing, this is the portal vein, then I am having one round thing over here and another round structure over here. One is common bile duct, another is hepatic artery. Now this is the Mickey Mouse appearance at the level of the porta hepatis. This is the Mickey Mouse appearance. Now this is the portal vein. Now the question, which one is common bile duct and which one is the hepatic artery, and how can I confirm that this is a common bile duct, not a hepatic artery? So you can post your answers in the same comment box where you are posting your questions. You can let me know there so that we can revise the things also. So one is common bile duct, another is hepatic artery. Hurry up. Bicolor, yes, of course, bicolor I can differentiate it. It is sent by Dr. Sanjay Kumar. If I am putting a color on this area, this will take color. This is portal vein. This will take color, and this will take color, because this is the hepatic artery, and this common bile duct will not take color. So the right ear of the Mickey, now see, this is the Mickey Mouse appearance. Right ear is of CBD and the left is of hepatic artery. And how to differentiate? The color will differentiate. This will take color, this will take color, and this CBD will not take color. Okay, what else we can discuss today? Yes, the duodenum. Please and please don't confuse duodenum with the gallbladder. They are very close to each other. Now, how to differentiate that you are not dealing with this and you are dealing with that? First, the gallbladder and the duodenum. First of all, you see the bright wall will be of gallbladder, and a dull wall. Then you are cutting the duodenum, which looks like a gallbladder, not just a gallbladder, a terrified gallbladder, a very abnormal gallbladder. You may think on lines of a slur, you may think on lines of a calculus, you may think on lines of a cholecystitis, you may think of any abnormality if you are cutting, your scan plane is cutting through the duodenum. So pay attention that the duodenum is not cutted and you are not taking a duodenum for a gallbladder. See for the walls, bright walls and the dull walls. Then this gallbladder will be surrounded by, this is already covered with in your course. I'm just giving you an important things. Surrounded by liver. It will not, but this duodenum will be next to liver. So you will not see liver surrounding. Why the liver is surrounding this gallbladder? Because of the scan plane I discussed with you. When I am cutting through the gallbladder, automatically some part of the liver is also taken in that slice. But duodenum is not very close to the liver. That is why I will not expect a liver to see with their duodenal cut. And then that is the middle hepatic ligament. Which we discussed, will be seen in case of the gallbladder, but it will not be seen in case of the duodenum. And this gallbladder will be contained. Now see, contained structure. So this is contained. I don't have space here, so I am writing over here. It is contained, whereas this is a tubular. And connection with the portal veins. Connection with the portal veins. Which portal vein? You know now, the right portal vein will be with this gallbladder, and no connection will be with the duodenum. So these are the important points. You should not overdiagnose the thing. You should be able to see that this is not a duodenum, but this gallbladder. And sometimes you are seeing some folds in the gallbladder. This is also important point. You are seeing some folds in the gallbladder. Okay, let it be, that is an anatomical variant. Why should I worry? No. Maybe that there is a calculus. And that calculus is here. And if you don't know that these folds will contain this calculus, you will easily miss this calculus, which is in this fold over here. So what I have to do, I have to turn the patient, I have to slice this gallbladder in some more scan planes. So I have to turn the patient, I have to scan more carefully this gallbladder with the folds, because there can be stones. Now see, if the patient will change the position, then this calculus will drop down and the previously hidden calculus will stand over here and will say, doctor, I am here, hello, how are you, please report me, I am a calculus over here. So this is the importance of these folds, knowing these folds, that some calculus can get entrapped in these folds over there. So DDS, this VES. I was thinking that I'm missing some important point. Wall, echo, shadow, very important. Wall, echo, shadow. When you are about to label an abnormality, think of the wall, echo, shadow. Now, what is the wall, echo, shadow? Wall, echo, shadow is seen in case of GB, which is packed with the multiple calculi. Now, if there is a gallbladder which is packed, now see, which is packed with this, now this is the gallbladder, and this gallbladder is packed with the calculi, multiple calculi over here. Now, when I am scanning, what I am doing, I am sending the beam. This is again covered in your course. I'm giving you just a quick recap. What I will see in this is this part only, because the beam will not penetrate deep into this area. So I will be seeing a picture like this over here. Now this can be a porcelain gallbladder. The same picture can be of a porcelain gallbladder. Now, how to differentiate between a porcelain gallbladder and a GB, which is packed with the multiple calculi? That is wall, echo, shadow. In case of a porcelain gallbladder, now see, in case of porcelain gallbladder, what is actually the porcelain gallbladder? This is covered in your course. This is the calcification from the wall itself. So whatever area I'm seeing is actually the wall, a calcified wall over here. But in case of the gallbladder, which is having a packed multiple calculi, the hyperechoic thing will be of calculus. But I will be seeing this wall. So if I see W, that is wall, E, that is echo, and S, shadow. Now the shadow will be coming from the back. So then I am not dealing with the porcelain gallbladder, else I am dealing with the porcelain gallbladder. So keep a note of this WES also. WES. So these classes are yet live with you. So we will keep these classes, whatever is covered in your gallbladder. There are actually how many classes of gallbladder? About how many classes of gallbladder are there in course? Okay, about a 15, 10 to 15, yes. So about a 10, roughly a 10 classes of gallbladder. Are there? Do we have 10 classes of gallbladder? 11. So 10, 11 classes of gallbladder are there. We will keep them active for next 2 to 3 days more, so that you can revise the things. Okay. So this was all for now. See you very soon. And we will now activate the liver. We will now activate the liver course for you. Then we will take the interactive classes for the liver after maybe 3 or 4 days from now. So we will update you. So thank you very much. God bless all of you. Bye-bye. Take care.